is watching at a slight and safe off angle, so can back away here, try and play for that. Retake a fight by Sentinels. They're forcing the issue forward, and the jump spot by 10's almost a little bit risky, but the plant is down. The sight a little bit more palpable for them. Paranoia now finally gliding through. Big connection onto a multitude of targets, but again, there's no follow-up. The volleys are just delaying. How are Sentinels going to take this one with time of the essence? Sticking onto it, Sassy, half already. Might have just earned him enough time here. Mazin, all the way forward. Spamming and tapping all the way. John just about gets it.
Tens still has the Outlaw. That can pick off two of the players on MIBR, Ardazine and RGL.
Soft angle is a brutal one. Anti-flash position, look at it.
And there's Ardazine, he had light armor. He goes down in one.
He's still alive and kicking though, and he is causing all sorts of distractions, isn't he? Leave it to 10T on the bonus. Don't know where a lot of these players are. Single shot, there we go. Straight to the chest. One more in the chamber. Not enough though. That full armor just saving the day there for Mazin, but a 1v2 really only being postured off by Mazin as a paranoia exchange on either side out on the opposite section of the map with Mazin falling. A control now going to be going towards Sentinels, and all in the middle of all of this. Tucked to the corner, that's Zelsis here, and he's playing again the bait and switch and a snap to the side. RGL Meister at least with the trade, but now he's just a solo player. One left standing, TP's up, and it's too predictable. Found.
30 seconds
4v5. That will go down. Yes, it will. Might be a kill, though. Yes, with the util flushing RGL Meister out into the open. Straight to the rifle fire, but it's just an exchange of hands here. Now the showstopper really being afforded to use.
They're trying to buy enough time for JCC to go around, and Sassy's watching for it.
It's the awareness by Sassy. Just expecting that could be a possibility. Of course, that noise was made a little bit earlier and prior. Haunt taken care of, but not enough there. Can't level the shots. So Sentinels, a really good win for them. It's a paranoia to go flying, and MIBR is disjointed at best here, but now they're finally starting to gain some of that ground and scaling into the site, but they're going to remove these pesky players. Reinforcements arriving. Still, collection of kills out towards the back. Nana Swarm a little bit too shallow there. Doesn't connect, and a snap of the wrist from 10 certainly does, with Mazin dropping Spike out in the open, and the last one spotted, the solo player of FRZ, not a chance.
All right, I did.
Easy stuff from Sen. Great little play from Tens as well, a fake teleport. Just put in the middle of that after he'd already, Sassy had already dropped the player that had the spike. Mazin's died on these aggro lurks a little too much. MIBR not waiting for the main portion of their fight to cause a distraction before getting the lurk in.
What a shot.
And it's just a catastrophe. Every block falling. And this is, nice pathing from Ardazine to be able to double blast back over the top of the snakebite, but heavy rubble fight here for Sen.
Again with a snakebite, this time they are just corralling, collected up, see if they can take that gamble and that fight together. Sentinels are the ones who are entirely favoured, not willing to give up that space.
That's a utility combo again. Sen have not fought with 4 players over this side of the map. And they MIBR certainly not expecting Zelsis to be tucked under mound there. But yeah, Sen are really mixing up their defense side. They haven't gone for a heavy rubble fight. Playing with your food, perhaps?
Really getting fancy with it at least. And a Swarm will delay any sort of engagement out towards Tree, but guess what? Paranoia is dodged along the board at util. The kills at least being collected here, it's evened out. On either side here, 3v3. Understands the angle even though it's smoked off, just spraying down. Position that players do like to play. Hello, might be getting a bit overzealous, but it is traded through. Hop in, and that's a bit of disrespect, isn't it? Tens. Unlikely contender of the space, but he does eventually take it himself.
Yeah, we're getting the sloppiness in here now.
Oh, yeah.
Sen want to finish it out, you can tell. But they found themselves in a 2v2. Health disadvantage. No plant down just yet.
Snakebite. Zelsis is low. It's going to be forced wide. Yeah, he's going to go down to it, in fact. Pick your poison in that spot. The post plant, though, Tens can play this position. He just needs to isolate these fights! And they drop like flies!
It's not a good day for Brazil.
It's really not.
Great day if you're a Tens fan. They're just letting some of the small things slip, and still, player quality pushes them over the line. ridiculous from TenZ. Very similar. He had a similar clutch, actually, playing the post plant against Lev.
Yeah.
I mean, Sen against Lev, they were pulling out some wild individual moments. Here's that smoke that we were talking about, by the way. On the attack side for Sen, makes it very difficult for the defenders to fight over this area.
Wow.
And FRZ tries to swing off turret contact, doesn't realize there are 2 Sen players pressuring B instead of the more standard 1 lurker, and they get punished for it.
Liberty's being taken entirely by Sentinels. I think you're right.
It's the details.
Yeah, the vibes from Sentinels right now, they're just being sound loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
I feel that they want to just try and put a stop to this map. Now, they have called a bit of a pause in the play here into this round after pressuring towards front B.
Here's the flash. Oh, does actually catch info onto somebody. That's
Zine. I mean, he's set up wide here. Actually, how much to play his side? We're going to take the fight there. Maybe expecting there to be only 1 player, but they fall anyway. 2 left to stand and pick up the pieces. Maybe forge something of it for MIBR. Jesus and Ardazine in need a miracle.
Yeah, I think have a little chat about Bind at this point. 2v5, 12-3. Sen.
Here.
I don't see how they lose this one, but it would start with JZZ getting a pick.
Paranoia is good, delaying and buying a bit of time, but they need way more kills where that came from. And how do they set it up? Flash, connection, Zekken cleared. 3 left to stand, and TenZ is low, but now with the smoke propped up again, it just gets that much more difficult time working against them, and this is for the map as a reminder here, crumbling beneath them. And it will have to be heroics, but I don't think it's in order. Not for MIBR right now, not for map 1. Full focus, set your sights onto climb, but the Sentinels, it comes straight back into this. As Uber said earlier, with a reckoning here. Biblically accurate Sentinels on display. Looking strong here early on, and a bit of information here, but they have lost control of Showers.
I mean, for a moment, it looked like we were going to see some kind of Showers crunch there based on JCZ's position. But instead, just taking that information around the map. Neither of these teams playing with Sentinels. So flanks pushing out on defense is good.
Well, Dog as well, seeking to really just pop in and clear this one. Hello.
Don't let
Light delivery, little bro. He's getting away with it. But a flash maybe will contain it. That is just anarchy in the mix. MIBR, it's a 2v3. They got the plant in the midst of that. You are choking. You can't let it topple like this. Please, MIBR.
They just couldn't get any momentum going on map 1. It would be cruel to rip it away so early. But Sen are not in the mood to make friends.
No, not at all, man. That's a win on the eco. And it was just too much to deal with. Might make a difference, but he does miss the shot. Okay, ults have to be expended now. TenZ using that flash. Will he get some sort of connection? Detainment into the corner. No, it missed. It missed entirely. So the weapons are still online for these teams, but it comes down to whether or not you can get these kills. And TenZ, it is his job to seek to contain. Ardazine forwards now close into the angle, but not watching for Showers at all. And eventually the players come together here. Sentinels.
The dog there from JZZ gets broken, and that stops him from going for some kind of Showers crunch. He's moved way far away from it as MIBR tries to take space. Oh, brutal. Coming man.
At least the Dizzy pointing forwards here with the rifles, trying to take the fight up close. And personal here. Second wave of all of that util. Great movement by John QT, just sidestepping all of the damage and the threats navigated. Excellent stuff here by Sentinels. Interestingly enough as well, holding very deep up onto tube. Always potential as well for those guns that MIBR were holding to do some real damage, but it's all Sen again. Cleaning it up. Excellent movement from Zekken though, just to avoid all of that one, and this is a desperation, proactivity on display. Guess what? Protocols in place and ready for it. That's what Sentinels are. Nades, rebounding. If the rifle didn't do it, util certainly would have.
There could not be a team more prepared for short aggression in the last couple of rounds than Sen. That's the defensive, the default protocol you're looking for. The flank's coming through fast here though from MIBR actually.
Watched by Zelsis. Tucked close onto the corner, it's a bit of sound bait, picking up the orbs. Yeah, Zelsis, there's one. Mouse ready. Expects a second, will get it. Players dropping all over the place here for MIBR. Satchel straight over, full disrespect here from the util. JZZ Far too much to deal with. Pop flash on Mazine. It wasn't quite set up for it, but he can't reset the aim for a second. Follow through is perfection from Sentinels.
That's an immaculate take as well. There's actually a Brimstone molly from Zelsis that lands in elbow.
So well timed with it, revealing everything. Well, the pit will drop.
That's big.
And RGL backs away here. Maybe some time. Space being purchased here from Artisan, but now reveals his position out open. Now 1v1, but time starting to tick. And that forces the issue to be met here with the Thrash, leading the charge right into elbow. Detainment there, Showstopper on top of it. It's all combined it. And it's overwhelming at its core. You don't stand a chance.
Orbital strike for RGL.
Okay.
I don't think they were expecting it all.
No. Posted up onto the position here, but the smoke up in their faces.
Right there.
It feels like a lot of these defense setups are based on where the KO is playing. They don't have as much proactivity on the other side of the map. RGL can't even find a time to use the ult.
Let's find a time for the kill, but his back's going to be open, wide and open. Okay, eventually kill claim there for Zelsis. Tempo needs to be increased. First wave of that util, you can see it. Line up Larry. On for it now with the molly, dropping it down. That just buy them even more time. Bodies out in the open. Desperation. And a 9-3 half. Sen are going to be really pouring themselves towards here, but it wasn't really arduous, was it? I mean, looking quite clean all the way through. Will get caught and then head clean off. John QT though is a crossfire setup, and him alongside it. Sassy TP. Reinforcements arriving just to try and help them out, but MIBR sent scurrying. There's only 13 seconds left. Which direction are you going into? They don't know.
10 seconds left.
Getting ready now to just try and face them no matter what. John holding it down onto the diffuser. The rest of his team cleans it all up. Massive answer back. The other side of the timeout. Showers contained and held down here. Defense by 10s. He was a solo player, and there's really no picture in their mind of how they really wanted to try and earn themselves around for MIBR. It's just wandering around the map, hoping that they can be offered a few kills, maybe with the Sheriff.
I mean, there was a flash there. Mazine tried to sync it up with a bounce flash off the wall.
Tens know at least that they've lost control of this one.
Yeah, even if FRZ was able to get a kill, get the plant, they still don't have the spike. Sen get up to match point. The fact they haven't seen anybody short, I think should make them think that Showers Trailblazer is a bit of a fake. The smoke's coming through as well. MIBR are trying to sell them a serious A-site hit.
But they have no control of B. Still, it might not make a
30
difference.
seconds left.
Steep knife now to no command in case there are any axe-free players. Now we know there's nobody defending this. Center entirely off the site, so it's going to be a freebie for MIBR, but they are fast. Look at it, straight for the TP and trying to flood themselves right back into this one. Behind them, Zekken and Tens coming together, spraying through, and it's an open sideline. It's not smoke for that kind of tempo injection into the round here with the Viper's Pit. Maybe enough coverage onto the side to try and provide some level of safety. There's a player advantage for Sentinels, and when they're put in this spot, they capitalize. They can feel it, they can taste it. One more round will make the difference. Mazine, he's fully blinded up there. We're breaking it. First layers of it. Still 2 left to stand here for MIBR, and the pit is still up. No more snake bites though. Another tap. Second. Out in the open. They know where FRZ is.
Do they?
He's made himself noticed, surely. Evacuation, but not enough to evade. Just few straight shots. And it's all Sentinels now. 13-7. Map 2. Defenders, don't get me wrong, they were pushed and tested in various ways, but they got the job done.
Sen with a fairly comfortable beginning there to Super Week. It only gets more difficult for MIBR as they play up against NRG next. But Sen, I think your comment at the beginning of this cast actually, Brent, where you were talking about the fact that Sen want to match test some of their ideas. Yeah. They're a team that enjoys playing games and getting real match and tournament experience. They were able to test out some new ideas on Lotus. They've got that VOD footage now to look back on. And I feel like on Bind as well, we saw some new stuff there.
Yeah, making improvements.
Yeah, they're running some of their old setups, but also adding some different ideas into. We saw that really effective Brim Molly from Zelsis on the B exec, some cool hookah crunches on the defense side, and generally speaking, indicating that there is a tier gap at the moment between the top teams in Americas and those struggle. Who knows, that could shift over the course of the week. We could still see upsets, but here today, Sen gapped it.
Yeah, he really did. An expected outcome. Just looking at the matchup on paper as well, that fire being relit here for Sentinels.